Dollar Tree is one of my favorite places to grab craft supplies, especially their wood pieces. And these palettes right here, they're my jam. I probably have 50 or more palette DIY ideas in my content somewhere. So in case you didn't know, it's okay. I forgive you. Which is why I can't believe I didn't think of these DIY palette presents before. Today I'm sharing with you 5 high-end Christmas DIY projects that you can create for just about $1. Grab whatever ribbon you want to use to create these, and if you want to make bows, go right ahead and do that. I'm just going to use some of these little joints to put on top and give you guys some options for these. For our first one, I'm going to just take the white ribbon I have here with the snowflakes, wrap it around, and then I tie it in the back and pull it the opposite way. So I'm just using one piece of ribbon for the entire thing. If you're struggling with that, feel free to cut it off in the back right here and then tape it or glue it down and then cut another piece to do the opposite way and do the same thing. When I got to this point, I just cut the extra ribbon off and used a piece of tape so I could continue reusing the same palettes, which is also a great idea if you want to switch up your decorations every year. You are not dedicated to just using this one style. I mean, but if I'm being 100% honest here, and I wasn't reusing the same palettes for this demonstration, I would use Antique Waverly Wax on these with the white colored ribbon. I just think a darker wood color would look fabulous with the white. As simple and as elegant as these pieces were, you guys know I had to put some color in there, right? So I did the same style, just switched it up a little bit to give you guys some more ideas. I think I like this one better than the first one. But now we're going to take some Dollar Tree metal lace and we're going to make some rustic high-end looking little presents. I did not glue anything on here except for the little centerpiece that I make. For these, I just cut them to size and just wrapped them around the back. It was super simple. These probably took me maybe 3 minutes to make. And they might honestly be my favorite Christmas DIY that I have made with these palettes. That's how much I love these little presents. I could not believe I had not thought of this idea before, as many palette DIYs as I have made. I even have another present idea to make with these, but we'll have to save that for another video. Maybe I'll do that next year and just make you guys all wait. You can finish off the center however you would like. I just added a little twine bow and a bow. Dollar Tree is not the only place you can get $1 items to make crafts or DIY projects. Dollar General had these out last year and I grabbed them when they were $1 for 3 snowmen. This year they're selling them 2 in a pack for $1. Inflation, you gotta love it. Anyhow, these are super cute. They come in a large, a medium, and a small, and they just kind of lock together. Super plain and simple, and I've seen these done several different ways, but I wanted to kick it up a notch and add some texture to these pieces. I wanted to keep these fairly matte and Christmassy, so I'm going to use these 3 colors, and to create my texture, I'm going to use spackling and some calcium carbonate. And before you decide to come at me in the comments about use baking soda, this works better, listen, I'm a decorative artist. I have done and used many types of textures to create different things. This is my favorite way for these types of projects. So just roll on with me, sit back and relax. Now my spackling, it was a bit crusty, so I'm adding a little bit of water to give it some life, and I'm mixing it up before I add in our calcium carbonate. There is no teaspoon to cup ratio. I pour it in, I pound it up, I squirt it in there, I wing the whole thing and just cross my fingers. That's just how I roll with it. So in case you're going to ask how much to what, nope, just, put it in there and mix it on up. I will tell you that you should have this consistency though. If it's watery, then you added too much of something, take it back a notch. This is the DIY struggle, not professionals are us. I don't know if you read the sign clicking on the button into the video, but just in case you didn't. We're going to use a makeup brush to apply our texture onto our wood projects. Now, in case you're wondering, you can use whatever type of brush you want, okay? Don't let me stop you. But what I love about the makeup brushes or a blush brush like this is it allows you to pounce so well and get so many little splotches everywhere. You're going to want to do 2 coats of these and dry in between the coats. The more coats you do, the thicker your texture will be and the blotchier or blottier you will have it. It just gets better and better as you layer it. Another cool aesthetic would be to take a dry brush with a little bit of white and go over these. It would really bring out those little raised pieces. Wait until they're all dry and then just add your accents. These are little ornament pieces and a bell, and I'm just taking some twine and we're going to wrap around the snowman's throat. I'm just kidding. We're going to wrap it around his neck and we're going to glue on this little Mary piece to our vanilla or antique white. And for our last littlest snowman, we're just going to take this bell and we're going to wrap around him. Dollar General has these really cute mini metal wreath forms and they are just $1. So I picked up a couple while I was here. I knew I wanted to make something with some of them, even though I am horrible at wreaths. I wasn't going to turn it into a wreath, okay? Don't get too wild. But since it was just $1, I knew at some point I would find something that inspired me to use this. And that happened at a recent browsing at Walmart with this ornament. I have a browsing channel, just in case you guys are wondering. I do a lot of shopping, get some inspiration, find deals, all the good things. Started over here, but we had to move that. DIYer by day, shopper by night. I spray painted this star black so it had more of a high-end look than the typical green, and now I am going to begin the treacherous task of wrapping the twine around this wreath. Listen, I will be 1000% honest with y'all. My intention was to wrap the ends of the star, okay? But as I started going, I was like, ain't nobody got time to wrap the ends of this star. I just ain't got that kind of time. I spent 15 minutes just wrapping what you see here. And of course, you know, the footage shows it's like 30 seconds, but that was not the reality. Now, if I'm being honest, it turned out good anyway. I really like how it turned out. It was beautiful. So if you want to wrap the ends of your stars, by all means, I have your back. Fully support you. But for me, we just did it like this. Dollar General also has these awesome picks for $1 and $2. So I picked this one up. It was just $2. Cut it to size, added a little bit of floral as well to finish this off. And that is it for this little piece. Whenever I see these large wood hanging decor pieces from Dollar Tree, I pick them up. I never know when I'm going to see them again, so I always try to grab them, and they are awesome to make things with. We're going to decoupage this beautiful napkin onto this wood piece. For this wall sign, I just want to use the print. I'm not going to use the buckle part. I know, it's so sad. I do have a DIY that I want to use for the buckle part in another video. So hopefully I will get to that soon. To start off, I'm just cutting out the section I want to use, and then I'm going to get off all those little sneaky layers. So for simple, it's simple for me to just rip a corner off, and then usually all the extra parts come off. If you struggle with this, you can put a little bit of Mod Podge on your fingers or use 2 pieces of tape, put one on each side and then pull them apart, and usually all the layers will come off with either one of those little tips or hacks. Whenever it comes to decoupage in a napkin, I will say I like to believe less is more. So I will do little by little, and this helps to minimize the wrinkles. If you have time to do the iron-on method, it is the best and most efficient way to minimize wrinkles. By all means, do that. I have several how to decoupage, iron-on decoupage, iron-on napkin, all the videos. I can put them down in the description box for you to check them out if you want more decoupage information. But for content purposes, so I can quickly bring you my DIY ideas, this is my favorite method, to use a sponge and little by little and apply the decoupage as I go. Don't be afraid to measure up your napkins whenever you do stuff like this. You do not have to rip every napkin to make it look authentic and make it look high-end. Sometimes it's simply matching up the pattern and making sure that the lines touch in the proper spaces. I left a little gap on the very end so we could add some glitter. Now, to do this so we don't have glitter everywhere, I'm going to apply a little bit of the decoupage, and then we're going to put the glitter. And then once it dries, we're going to add more decoupage and then let that dry. And usually the glitter will not come back off after that. Tacky glue would probably work well for this also. Once your project is dry, and you want to make sure it's dry, okay, people? Because if not, and your napkin is still wet and you try to sand your pieces off, like the extra, it is going to slide your napkin. So be a little patient and just wait for it to dry and then sand it. I'm taking a little piece of Dollar Tree's lace again, and we are wrapping it right in front of where we put those sparkly bits. I feel like the lace gave it a little bit of division and created more of a high-end look. I'm taking this word family that I had laying around and some more of that Dollar General greenery and gluing these on for our final touches. I already know what you're thinking. Brandi, there's no way this tray was $1. Listen, I purchased this in a pack of 3 from Ross for $8. This was the smallest tray. I am rounding. It was $1. Okay. The largest one was 4. The other one was 3, and this one was $1. Okay, math makes sense in my mind. We are using Dixie Belle's chocolate to give this a once over. It's not thorough. We left some gapping, and we are leaving this whole area in the center here nice and open so we can put our white paint and our gorgeous napkin. I've been dying to decoupage with this. Yes, it's in my napkin bundle kits. In case you're wondering, it is for sale on my website. I want to sell this, and I want people to be able to use this as a tray if they want. So we're going to use this dishwasher safe Mod Podge. It works just the same as the decoupage or regular Mod Podge, just in case you're wondering if there's a difference in application. There is not. It works just perfectly. Once I got that brown all dry, we're gonna bring in the makeup brush. I'm going to take some of Waverly's plaster, and we are going to dry brush this very thoroughly over the whole piece. Give it a really good aged look, and I love using makeup brushes for this because it really helps to just not cake on paint, but more so, just look at that. Look how it's applying. It's just dusty almost, right? And I know you guys are just going to pull your hair out when I tell you that I even go over this again with more brown. Listen, it's a layering process. It is just what I do. I wanted to add like a banner type thing almost around the edge. So I had these gorgeous stencils I picked up off Amazon for a couple $, and I'm just doing the top part of the stencil with some red. Adding that white over the brown is really going to, one, give us that aged look and a little bit of a color variation, but 2, help this pop. Even when I go over this, because I do go over this, and sand it down, it really helps everything to just blend in and look like an old piece. Plus, I feel like the red kind of matched the napkin, and we want to just have everything kind of tie in together. Obviously, our napkin is not big enough to fit the whole tray. So to give the appearance that it is just one piece and it's meant to be like that, I am ripping this napkin all up. We are putting little pieces of this napkin in different sections of the tray, and then we're going to come back in with some paint and we're going to blend everything in to make it look like it is just meant to be one piece. There is no right or wrong way to do this. It is honestly up to the artist's opinion where you want to place your napkin. I will say that I recommend whatever your largest piece is that you want to be your main focal point of something like this, you put that on last if you are not sure how you want to spread your pieces out. If you are sure about how you want to put your pieces on there, you go right ahead and slap that sucker on first, and then you just put your other stuff on. I waited to do my centerpiece last, so this way I could get some of these other pieces up and make sure they were spread out enough that it covered the whole piece and looked like one unified project. A few little tips for doing this, because I know you guys are like, why are you not using your sponge? The pieces are super, super tiny and the napkin is really thin. So what I'm basically doing is wetting a tiny piece, pressing on it with my finger, just tappity tap tap tapping, and then taking the brush to just paint right over top of it so it is immediately attached to the board or the tray. See how I'm holding the napkin down here as I go? If you pull on it gently, it allows it to stay tight. So as you're applying the Mod Podge over top the napkin, it helps to minimize the wrinkles. If you are really skilled at your wax paper and your parchment paper with your iron-on method, you go right ahead if you want to have that many of minimized wrinkles. I am not, I know me, and I would have that iron sticking to all the Mod Podge around our napkin, and it would be, oh, it would be such a mess. I would be so upset that it was all sticking to the paper, and this just works best for me. I know many of you are new to decoupage. You guys tell me that you are, so I just want to encourage you to try doing this in small sections on a smaller project you're not too worried about before you try it on one that you are. Once I was happy with the napkin placement, now I need to kind of blend in everything, and I'm taking a fan brush with a little bit of that chocolate and going to the very far edges of the tray and pulling it in single strokes towards the napkin. Wes brought me in a drink, so I was taking a little break on the camera. I was like, oh, I'm filming this. I did, you know, block out me taking my gulps, though. I didn't think you guys wanted to hear that. I used the plaster the same way I used the chocolate color with the fan brush and continued to just blend in between where there was no napkin. I wanted to bring some more of that vintage look into the center, and I took small sections of the stencil and added a little bit of red onto the top here. In the bottom corner, I wanted to add a little bit of an eyesore. So I took some of the plaster and added a big stencil right down in the corner. I took twine and wrapped our little handles up, and simply stunning. That is all I can say about this tray. I absolutely am in love with this. I know I started on the Christmas DIYs early this year, people, but I do hope you are enjoying them as much as I am enjoying bringing them to you. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. Until next time.